2 links on it. Okay, hey there. So this is part 2 on fundraising. And Carol, ask your question again.
I know Angie's question was what goes in the hostess packet. Is it really the same as a regular one except for perhaps more catalogs?
More catalogs, yeah, and with less of a focus on the host benefits. So if you do include anything about, the extra host rewards of 200, free and half price and discounted items, you'd want to just make sure to indicate that that's going to be a check. It's going to be converted into a check for them. So host packet's going to be definitely the same. And like what I was saying is that I add, I'll label those catalogs before putting them into her hands so that when they go floating around, they have all of the ordering information on there specifically so that orders, bookings, and everything else gets credited to this fundraiser. Okay, other questions so far? Renee, Debbie, we didn't get Barbara back. Is this helpful, gals?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So the point I was making is even if they say they want to do it silent, I would suggest and tell them that that's fine and you'll go out and collect, share the catalog and whatnot. But let's get as many people together as possible to do some cooking so that we can get their hands on these products, because the kind of magic that happens when we cook together with our Pampered Chef products. They go nuts and they get completely inspired, and you make sure that you do your party with you start it with all the information about how our efforts today are going to benefit our cause, and you end it with the same thing, and you be ready to just send them out into the great wide world with catalogs and that link to go and collect orders. So that is hugely valuable to be sure that you're cooking. And it actually works well if you hold the cooking part of the fundraiser sooner in the process and give them a little bit more time after that to go and collect their orders, because they leave all excited, so much more excited than anything that you can do by just putting a flyer, an order form, and a catalog in their hands. You want to give them enough time to go and generate that. Let's see, what other kind of things and tips do I do for fundraising?
When you set it up on Pampered Chef, you actually select fundraiser as the party type, right?
Yes,
that's how you then put in who the check is to be cut to?
Yep. If you're going to do it if you're going to have Pampered Chef cut the check. In Debbie's case, if you're hosting and you opt to take the products and write them a check, then you set it up as a cooking show. But yeah, when you set it up as a fundraiser, it's going to prompt you for 2 things. It's going to prompt you for the organization name and then also who to cut the check to. And they may be one and the same. I know that Team in Training may be the organization name for one that I do often, but they have their check cut to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So you need to ask the host that very clearly at the end of the day, who are we making the check to? So you set it up as a Facebook event, and so you can have a Facebook virtual event running as the same time as you have a live get-together going on, and at the same time as you text them the link and an invitation to have everybody participate. And also you can have the guest list, have the host put in their guest list on your event page on your personal website. So you're basically going to hit it from text, email, Facebook, and hopefully live and in person. And then you're in communication with your host. So it can actually generate quite a bit. I think I closed 2 fundraisers. I think I closed a whole handful over $3,000 last fall. And they can happen any time of the year. I think my experience has definitely been that sometimes they take a while to happen. Like you may be talking with somebody who is on the PFC at the school, and they're like, oh, this would be a great idea for fundraisers, but it's February now, and we decide on our fundraisers and do them in the fall. So you put that into your tickler file to be in contact with her. You may have many, many fundraiser leads, and they may take a little while to come to fruition, but they're very worthwhile to stick to them. What other kinds of help do you need? Is that kind of, I think I've covered everything I had on my list. Any other questions? Renee, are you talking? You're on mute.
Fundraisers actually are they're pretty easy. It just takes a lot of host coaching.
You're a little dyslexic this morning. More coffee.
Oh man, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And just, patience. It happens. It seems mine start out slow, and then we'll have an event, like we'll have one at the office. Boom. It just explodes. And then it continues to explode from there until we close it out.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. And they're great for bookings. And I've recruited lots of people from fundraisers. And in fact, gosh, I had a whole string of them for a couple families up in Lake County. I think it was 2 years ago. Fires just roared through that area. And we were replacing things in kitchens with party after party after party. So by definition, they were fundraisers, but we submitted them as regular shows because we were replacing items in kitchens. We were restocking kitchens that needed to be rebuilt, that were empty. They'd lost everything. So that's fundraiser. Okay. Or you could do the same thing and have them cut a check so that they could go to Home Depot or whatever need that they might have. There's just a lot of different ways to do things. And as you're going around and kind of, keeping your eye peeled for who has needs, and you're a solution to fulfill a need. And a couple who was getting married last summer, and they were desperate to adopt a baby. And so in the spring, we did a fundraiser to help with adoption expenses. And then they did another party, and then later on, and then the wedding happened, and we were, all oohing and awing over the pictures, and then they had another party in that same group, and then they ended up joining Pampered Chef. So you build contacts and relationships through your business, all aspects, but fundraisers particularly. And we've been involved with NAMI, is National Association of Mental Illness, the Contra Costa chapter has been an astronomically huge resource and help to our family personally over the last several years. And I took a free 12-week class with them through Family to Family to help support me, to help support my family's needs. Well, in the last year, I've done 2 fundraisers for them. And I can stand right there and say, the money that we're raising is going towards programs that are near and dear to my heart and are, hugely necessary. We're going to cook today. We're going to all just go gaga over learning wonderful tips and tools and techniques for saving money at the grocery store and getting dinner on the table. And think long and hard about what birthdays are coming up. Get your Christmas shopping done now. Take care of having housewarming gifts or hostess gifts on hand, and college dorm stocking. Think big, because you're going to want everything, and everybody else will too. So we had a $3,200 fundraiser, and that was a very lovely, joyous moment. And then we came back a couple months later and did another one that was $1,600. So they can be really big. They can help you move towards earning your trips. They can help you with your incentives for the month, and they can get you towards earning excellence. And they just can be huge if you think along the lines of volume and getting the word out there. Other questions?
Not for me.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, great. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for being here, and for Carol for suggesting it. It's all kind of originated from Angie asking some questions about fundraisers. And so she'll be able to watch. I'll put these recordings both up on our team page, and I will add the links to them to our quick links under the fundraiser section, so that you always have access to the training. And if I'll look through my resources and see what I have as kind of supporting materials, a letter and whatnot. But your biggest asset is you, and making those personal contacts and asking for referrals whenever you whenever you engage with somebody about Pampered Chef, or you're at a party. Tell them, hey, I do fundraisers and I absolutely adore doing Pampered Chef fundraisers to help you. So please don't keep me a secret from your friends. And with that, I think we will go ahead and wrap it up. You guys have a wonderful rest of the weekend.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.